Well, as Ronald Reagan used to say, let's do a walk around of this 2014 Hyundai Santa Fe. Um, this vehicle comes in both a regular and a longer wheelbase version. This is the Sport, which is a two-row only deal. The longer wheelbase three-row is the GLS and higher trim limited version. It's kind of neat that Hyundai's done that. Most of the other vehicles in this segment are either small, like the Honda CR-V and the RAV4, Ford Escape, and only offer the 2 rows and the 5-passenger seating capacity, or you move up to something that's pretty big and gives you the extra row, but of course, is also a larger vehicle. This is actually smaller when you get the GLS to the Limited in terms of its overall footprint than other vehicles that offer you that extra row. So that's kind of nice. Also, you can get a variety of different drivetrains in this vehicle. The base version of the 2-row comes with a 4-cylinder 2.4-liter engine. It's about 190 horsepower, which is considerably stronger than the standard engines in the CR-V and RAV, which do not offer any optional engines at all, and their performance is pretty tepid. They get to 60 in about 9-something seconds. This one's a little bit quicker, and if you want quicker than that, you can upgrade to a 2.0 turbo engine. This one doesn't have it, but you can get it, and it's 269 horsepower, which is pretty solid, and the fuel economy with that engine is actually only slightly less than with the less powerful standard 190 horsepower engine. Something to mention, though, that's kind of interesting is I went over the stats for the 2014, which is pretty much the same as last year. Last year was when this vehicle was introduced as a, quote, all-new model. Even though the vehicles are essentially identical, the EPA has downgraded their fuel economy numbers just a little bit, 1 to 3 miles per gallon, depending on which configuration that you go for. But that's kind of interesting. Before it was among the leaders in the class. Now it's a little bit under par. The other optional engine well, not optional, but the engine that comes standard in the 3-row version is a 3.3 V6, 290 horsepower, really good performance. 0 to 60 in the mid-7s, which makes it one of the quickest cars in this class. Let's have a look at some of the features of this vehicle that I liked, and I'll share with you. Now, this is a base model, so it's not it's not loaded up with stuff, but look what you can get. Well, one thing that's standard that I like a lot, you'll see the little ventilation duct here for the back row passengers. Typically, they give you something there, which in my opinion, it's not optimal. This is a little better. Not only can you direct it, but it's higher up, so the airflow is better. Also, notice heated seats for the back seat passengers, which is kind of nice. And let's look. Oh, and you get this one also has manual sunscreens, which privacy, and also if you put your kid back here in the back seat, won't cook the kid. Let's walk over here and look to the front. It's got a really attractively laid out interior. In fact, one of the more attractive interiors of vehicles in this class. And again, this is not a particularly expensive vehicle. Base price around 24. This one's fairly optioned out, about 27 and change. But nice perforated leather, nice attractive gauge cluster. Let me fire it up so you can get a look at it. If it'll go, where's my key? Here's my key.
86436 1-800-9.
Here we go. It's got a little remote fob, so it has to be within range, so you can see it. And there's the nice little blue backlit main cluster, and then there's the center cluster. Something else that's kind of nice, you've got these bolsters here in the center console, which are nice to grab a hold of, and it also partially hides the little cubby here, so people can put stuff there and it's not quite as noticeable. And you've got 2 power points, which is nice. Oftentimes you only get one. There's your port for your iPod, USB, and auxiliary stuff. Got heated and cooled seats. Got a nice big console in here, and let's see what else is interesting here. Like this big fan, that's nice. Again, I say this a lot in my reviews, but I really like the big rotary knob. It's just tactile. You don't have to look at it to operate it. It just falls right naturally to hand. Let's take a look back outside and pop the hood and have a look. See what's under there. This is actually the first time I've popped the hood in this one. This is the base engine, 2.4 liter gas direct injection, kind of snug down in there. Looks like the belts, the serpentine belt there is pretty easy to get to, and the alternator there is pretty easy to get to. I'm looking around, can't quite see the oil filter, not sure where it is on this vehicle. Your air box is here. This is nice, you've got a flip up box to get to the air filter, so you can pop that, and there's your air filter. So that's nice. Don't need any tools to get to that. And I think that's about all I can immediately see that's worth pointing out. Let's go around the back and take a look at the cargo area. This has some of the has a pretty good cargo capacity relative to others in the class. You can see if you get a wider angle shot there, you can see it's a pretty nice large area back there. Also, I should mention another standout feature of the Santa Fe relative to some of the others in this class is that it really has generous backseat legroom. Again, we looked in here a moment ago, but I'm going to go back in here, sit in here, give you a sense of it. And again, I'm 6'3", so you can see my legs. You can see all the space between my legs and the front. I think you can scallop this out here a little bit, scalloped out the front seat backs to give you just that little bit much more room. Excellent headroom, even with, you can see this nice big panorama glass sunroof. Hopefully it's got the sunshade up now, but it goes the entire length of the roof. Really nice feature. Anyhow, the only gripes really that I can level at this vehicle are that the fuel economy is not particularly fabulous. And the one other thing, which I mentioned in my review, which is up at epautos.com, is that Hyundai's really jacked the price up of this thing relative to last year. And again, it's fundamentally the same vehicle. The only real difference between the 14 and the 13 is that the 14 now comes with a blind spot monitor, standard in all the trims, and that's not really a big deal. Almost all new cars, 14 model cars and newer, have or are going to offer the blind spot as a standard feature. So anyway, it's pretty much the same vehicle as last year, but the price uptick is substantial, particularly if you go for the turbo engine in the Sport, and also if you go for the 3-row GLS/Limited. In fact, whereas last year it cost you about $3,500 to go up from the base 2-row model to the base 3-row model, it's now about a $5,000 price increase, so that's pretty significant. And I'm not sure whether the blame can be attributed to inflation or the exchange rates. Of course, this is a Korean car, made in Korea, so that might be a factor. Or maybe Hyundai's just feeling its oats because Hyundai's been doing so well in the market, not just with this model, but with all of its models. And maybe they feel comfortable asking more for the car now, and they think people are going to be willing to pay for it. But anyway, that's all I've got as far as a gripe, and otherwise I've got lots of good things to say about it, and I think you'd probably like it too if you're in the market for a vehicle of this type. So let me know what you think. The review is up at epautos.com, and post your comments, yay or nay, and we will catch up with you next time.